up here. I'm in the midst of making my hot sauce today, jalapeno hottie. So I've been posting some pictures and videos about that. Super exciting. Love hot sauce on all my food. And I went for an amazing run today as well. Had to get some exercise in on the goal of losing some quarantine weight and some weight that I gained from, oops, you know what? It really helps when you, some quarantine weight and some weight that I gained from, oops, you know what? It really helps when you, some quarantine weight and some weight that I gained from. 2 seconds, guys. Let's go to this one. Okay, there we go. I don't know what I did. I was on the wrong computer trying to copy and paste. So I was copying and pasting and ended up, that's really funny, putting the stream into the video. So I'm so sorry about that. That was funny. But I think I learned a new little trick. I wonder if I could do that with like Skype or something like that. So I'm not going to go back to that screen, because then we're going to get feedback. All right, it's tweeted out live. Let's get into the Sunday watch list. So you guys can see I have it blank over here. Hello, Terry. Oh, I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Had to take some mom time this morning. We always take care of others, right? So I had to take care of myself this morning. All right. So let's look at the watch list right here. I've got my little watch list that I built. PSMT, STAMP, LHDX, VWE, EGAN. I'm going to add those on up here really quickly. So PSTM, STAMP, LHDX, VWE, EGAN, Helen of Troy, Exxon Mobil, Visa, YY, SPCE. Hello, ASIF. Then potential swings, DKS, PBI, and GIGM. All right, so those are some charts that I liked. I mistyped that one. Sounds like I have a frog in my throat, huh? PSMT. I need some water. Water, as they say in Philly. All right, so let's look at the indexes really quickly. SPY, QQQ, IWM, not DOA, DIA. All right, so let's check out the SPY. Right now, this is our weekly chart on the left over here. So you can see we are breaking to all-time highs. We had higher than normal volume, on Thursday, and we've shot up above it. We have a bit of, we have big volume right here on the weekly chart moving up to new highs. What really gets me is the Russell. The Russell has 2,000 stocks in it. And when we look at it on the weekly, we were down below over here. We did have an open down below and we shot up. Now we're hitting that 8 EMA on the 24-hour chart. Let's make that a 24-hour chart instead. So we're just above it, but we've really been choppy for the past since February. So 4 months, it's been really, really choppy. There's been so much cyber hacking going on. There was the Cyber Polygon event that happened on Friday. There was more issues in Germany. Iran's train station shut down. So a lot of things have happened. And, there's hacking supposedly that happened back in November. And so that seems like they are trying to prove that with Arizona. So all of this hacking that's happening and going on, what's going to happen to the market? The market, what happens if the New York Stock Exchange gets hacked and shut down? That could cause major issues as well. So the fact that the Russell does tend to lead the way, it's not super strong until we really break out up above 230, 250. I'm still in a holding pattern for the market. I've been waiting very cautiously, but I'd rather wait instead of go full long and then have negative effects to that. The Qs as well, we're definitely moving up to new highs here with the Qs as well. Apple and Microsoft and Google really play a role in that. as well as Nvidia and Netflix. Those are going to be a couple of the top names in the Qs index. But so we came up, we had a reversal here, a reversal pattern. We filled that gap. However, we did not hit to new highs. So we're going to see we had the biggest volume right here. We did close above that volume. So that would lead me to believe that it is buying for now. However, should we drop below 357.50 with a close right there, I would be extra cautious. A lot of the big names in the Qs or the NASDAQ ETF tend to draw down the market as a whole as being roughly 15% of the S&P 500. All right, we did not look at Dow Jones as well. Here we go. Dow Jones right here has been pretty much hitting resistance over here on the weekly. We're right at that resistance level. End of day, it really shot up at the end of day. So are we going to continue? Maybe we're going to see us hit this 351 area again and then a pullback. We shall see. So on the list for this week, we have PSMT. Come on, move on over. Right here. So you can see I haven't had it on my list in a while. So I would look at, hey, we've got a bit of a wedge for price mart right here. Right there. So a bit of resistance. So if it were to break down below, really right over here on the 24-hour chart, if it breaks down below 90.60, I would be more bearish. Close up above 92.50. So let's put that up here, 90.60 and 92.50. Hey, Tony. Hey, everything's monetizable. All right, 23.8 million in that. We also have Stamp over here. I love Stamp. And look at this crazy move that Stamp had. Stamp is a low float stock. I remember there was some guy on Twitter, he was arguing with me and he's like, oh yeah, whatever, Stamp is going to the ground, it's never gonna do anything. And that was when it was down here and he was short from up here. Well, this is a lower float as well, 17.6 million. So this one can really run. Now, it did have some crazy volatility. Let's make this 24-hour chart and this one 45 minutes. So you can see, oh, is it a buyout? Hold on. Doesn't look like it is. Stamps agrees to take over. Okay, there we go. So Stamps is off the list. We're gonna take that one off. I will put another one in there. So it is a buyout. I was liking the chart. I know it's a low float. The fact that it's a buyout, that's probably where it's coming from. All right, so here we have LHDX. I don't normally like pharmaceuticals, but I really like this chart. 24-hour chart is looking awesome. And the entire house smells like jalapeno hot sauce. It's delicious. I gotta go puree it soon. So I would look for 950 really and 825. Hit the highs in pre. Yeah, thanks, Roman. So LHDX 825 and 950. So let's go back up over here. Where's my mouse? There we go, lost it. So this one, 28 million. Nice potential squeeze on that one. It might pull back down to 730 before we see a bigger move to the upside, because you can see that's where the support was before. So over here on this day, it had a crazy run up, sell off, and then it pulled right back down. So that could happen again. It could break down to 730 and then move to the upside right there. So keep it on watch. Being lower float, it could really, really move pretty quickly. So that one is to be cautious about. Vintage Wine Estates, another one that has a nice chart. It has a nice bullish engulfing. Took out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days of trading right there. So that's pretty strong, higher than normal volume. We did have volume ramping up down here off of the bottom, bounced off of the 50 simple moving average, and now we're pretty much clear. I would look for a close above 1220 for that to really move to the upside over here, right? You can see that we have a bit of a trend as well that it broke out from, and that's probably where the volume came in. You can see it right here. Love it when that happens, right? Isn't that cool? You draw the trend line, and then boom, you see, hey, look, once that resistance was broken of that downward trend, that's when the volume came in. 65% of the time, a downward wedge or downward triangle is going to break out to the upside. That's what we have here. Would watch, maybe it's going to come back down to 1150 and then continue to the upside. So I'll put 1150 as our support over here. All right, let me just shrink this a little bit so I have both on the screen. There we go. All right, so VWE, and I don't know the total number of shares. Let's check that out really quickly. VWE stock float, Wall Street Journal. Let's see if it has it here. 60 million outstanding shares, but we don't know what the public float is. So I'm going to put 60 million there, but it's likely less than that. Remember, if you guys like the live stream, please hit that like button. It doesn't cost a thing except for 2 seconds of time, and it helps the YouTube algorithm to help more people so that it will promote the video. All right, so Egan over here, 24-hour chart, we did hit the 200 simple moving average. So watching to see if it's going to come back down, I would put 1140 as our support over here, and resistance up at $12 for a further move to the upside here. You can see once it breaks out from there, likely a test of 1240, then 1280, and then on to 1350, probably 1450 over there. All right, so 1140 and 12. And our float is 21 million, so a lot of lower float ones here. All right, so let's go to Helen of Troy. Moving to the downside on Friday. I like this because we have a bit of an inside candle. Usually when you have an inside candle, that's going to lead, when you have super high volatility and then you have low volatility, it tends to lead to a bigger expansive volatility move after that. So I'm going straight off of this 24-hour chart over here. Let's just throw some lines on it and we will adjust it on the 45-minute. So I would look for support of 213.80 and resistance at 217. And Helen of Troy, it did have that crazy volume, had earnings. So looking to see that this only has 23 million in the float as well. So 214, excuse me, and 217 for the price for Helen of Troy. ExxonMobil, again, big reversal pattern here, but we are hitting the 50 simple moving average on that 24-hour chart. It really had tough resistance up here, so I'm going to say 61.40 as our resistance. Hello, Naldo, or hola, maybe. Escobar seems like it might be Colombian, from the Pablo Escobar documentary. 60.80 and 61.40. 4.2 billion in that. And let's check out Visa for a potential move to the downside. So again, another inside day after a big volume or big volatility day. So looking to see which direction this is going to go. It is moving to the downside right now. We've had 1, 2, this is a third day where it was not able to break out up above over there. So I'd keep that on watch, but it looks, I'm going to raise this up here because it looks like 239.25 was really the resistance and 238.25 for support. All right, 1.68 billion. And moving to the downside, I would watch, 237.50, and then on down here, 236, 235, and so on down. All right, let's go to YY. Yeah, it could fill the gap up here, but it could also move and fill the gap on the shorter time frame. That's what's cool, is that depending on which the algorithms are set up on, it could fill the gap to the upside if it's able to break up above here, fill the gap. It will probably test 239.60 and then 240, and then up here. But that's a nice reversal pattern as well of the long leg doji and higher volume on that. Oh, not on that one, lower volume there. All right, let's look at YY. So YY did have a downward trend. Could be a bit of a retracement trade up here. Again, it could fill that gap, as you were saying, everything's monetizable, and then move to the downside. But it has been definitely in a downward trend, you can tell, on the daily. But was this finally seller's exhaustion over here, or is this just a bit of a bounce for more shorts to get into it? I would look at 612 for the upside right here, since we did close above 6. I would look, 612 as the resistance, and for support down here at $59. All right, and that has 62 million in the float, 62.7 million. And let's check out Virgin Galactic. So Richard Branson just went up today, right? It's live, happening right now, I believe. But you can see that we've hit this trend line, hit it. So looking potentially for this to continue back down, probably test that 45 level over here. So looking to see, we'll tighten it up a little bit right here, 49. And we'll tighten this a little bit further, 51 and 49. And 165 for the float. All right, so we'll get into potential swings over here. Oh, he went up and came back already? I thought he was going just, whatever. I didn't watch it. You can tell. All right, wrong one, wrong chart. So KC as well has this downward trend to it. First up day after that downward trend right here. Testing, I would look more for this to close up above 32 right here. So if we can get up to 32 and have a nice close, I think that we will see the next test of resistance up here at 35. And then on up, maybe that 50 simple moving average will be at 36 right there. PLTK as well, another one downward moving, and we finally had the breakout right here. You can see it tested, sold off. Now we're in between these moving averages right here. It was a pretty steep decline. So looking for this, here we go. Everything's monetizable. Another gap to fill up to 2350 area. Then we would look for resistance at 24 and 24.50, potentially all the way up here to 25.50. So potentially $2.40 move to the upside as that swing trade happens if we can close up above 23.50. All right, let's look at Dick's Sporting Goods. I have this one on watch. We'll check it out, Essie. Roman. So right here we have Dick's Sporting Goods. This has an ascending triangle right now. So looking at that, we could see that this could break out to the upside. Looking more for a close likely above 102.50. A close above 102.50, and we might be seeing this thing head on up to really like 115. If we measure it here, 102 down to 85, that's $17. So maybe 119 up here, maybe 17 to 20% move on Dick's Sporting Goods breaking out to the upside there. PBI is another one over here. We've had strong resistance. I'd even move this up here. If we can have a close up above 960, I would look for that to really continue to move to the upside. You can see that's pretty much where they sold off. 10 might even be more influential as that round number, Pitney Bowes. So if it can hold up above 10, it's really been trading range bound for $2. I would anticipate at least a $2 move or 20% on there as well. GIGM, so this is Giga Media, and this one has been, it does have a bit, hold on, let's hide some of these. So this one has a bit of an upward motion to it, but it's got lots of wicks. I'm thinking this is lower float too. You can see that wedge that forms, 6 million. So if this one can break up above 312, watch out. You could see another move like this happen again. So put it on watch. Don't necessarily buy it right away. Wait for that price action. Wait for it to break out. Likely it would go off on some scanners. Hey, this is breaking a trend line. Look at the higher than normal volume over here. That's normal, not normal for it. And when you see that it happened back here, we had a little bit higher volume, and then boom, crazy day where it doubled in price. Same thing over here. Little higher, a little higher. Uh-oh, shorts are getting squeezed. Up it goes. So keep that on watch. This is definitely a penny stock for all those penny stock lovers out there. All right, so everything monetizable, you have a bunch. So let's check it out. XL. XL right now, I see more XL is heading to the downside right here. Has a bit of a downward trend to it. So I would look, let me just turn on these. I'll hide this one. Oops. Hide this one, turn these on. So I would look for this to close up above 8. Yeah, we'll look at AMC for sure. Up above 8, that's likely going to be a strong, we had higher volume at the bottom. It did hit a bit of a support over here, but I like to catch it more on this move rather than on the downside. Downside, you don't know how long it's going to continue to the downside, but when it's starting to curl to the upside, like here, hey, it moved up, okay, we saw a bit of a resistance. It was really far away from the moving averages. It came back down. Now it's down below them. That to me is going to be bearish. It's changed its direction. I'm not looking forward until it's back up above those moving averages. All right, let's look at ARG. RG. Oh, that one's not working. Nikola, let's check out Nikola. So Nikola, same scenario, starting to move down, but we do have a doji right here. It did close just a little higher. Volume is dropping, so not a lot of people are necessarily interested in buying it right at the moment. Want to see that volume? Hey, people are getting into this. Right now it's in that downward trend. We have an M. I would look for this to move back down to fill down here at 1380 and maybe test this trend line roughly 1330. All right, NEEG, Newegg. I think we talked about Newegg earlier, right? NEGG, sorry. I need to get a new computer. NEGG, third time's the charm. All right, so Newegg, big move up. It did test the resistance. Would still look for it to hold up above 58.45. Agri. Okay, we'll check it out. Still looking for this to move up and hold up above 58 or $59 even. It would need to break out up above there for me, but because right now it's just that momentum. Every time that I see a giant move like this, you know what it looks like to me? It looks like this is 5 fingers of a hand, and this is what it's saying to those longs, right? What is that to you guys? Tell me, what does it look like? Do you see it? Let's see if I can. It'd be funny if they had it. Imagine 5 fingers. What's that one right there? What's this one right here saying? No, they don't have it on the little icons. Oops. That's saying, yeah, you got in, you were chasing it, so beep, you, it's going back down. Exactly. Exactly, CoinFox. Now you see it, and then as a person going long, until you can take out this volume, it's not worth it to me. It's saying the middle finger to those that have gone long on this until it breaks out up above here. Otherwise, you're just being a bag holder, and that momentum is dropping off, in my opinion. All right. Wish. Everything's monetizable. Wants to check out Wish as well. We'll just go down the list. All right, so I like Wish. I like Wish better because we have the buying wicks right here on it. I like that chart, but it would still need to break up above and close up above 12 for me up here before I would feel comfortable going long. But it is starting to have that momentum. Volume is changing. Volume is dropping though. So I want to see it break out up above 12 and then move. It could be setting up for head and shoulders right here too. So you see there's a shoulder, a head. If that were to fail and come back down below 1080, that would be the neckline for head and shoulders, and no bueno. As a long, it would likely head back down to that $7 area. All right, let's look at SE. Yeah, SE, I like it. C limited, well, hold on. It still needs to break out from up here, but if you look at it, we have this shorter trend right here that it did break out up above. But if we're going to the tops from the highs to the highs, I would look for it really to have a close up above 2080. So it looks like it, depending on how you draw your trend lines, right? It looks like, oh yeah, awesome. It closed above this trend line long, but it hasn't closed above this resistance where we've seen all of these selling wicks, right? It would need to close above there and this trend line over here, 2080, 50, more or less, and then potentially move to the upside. For me to feel really comfortable and clear, this is moving for that next wave to the upside. This was just a bit of a corrective wave right there. Now let's look at AMC. So AMC still looking bearish to me. Let's go to the weekly. You'll probably see it even more. Yeah, it's bearish coming down. It would need to break up above this trend line for me. Look at the volume down here. Not a lot of buyers. What you have to remember about AMC, I know it's part of the ape army. It's part of the initiative, power of the people as traders. There's 499 million shares. So that's going to take a lot of people to be able to move it. It's not just buying options to create that gamma squeeze. You really need some stock purchases as well for this to move to the upside. It did have great movement. It looks like a lot of people that bought back here, lots of big volume, are holding, but it needs a bit more volume to come into it before it could continue upwards, in my opinion. All right, let's look at overstock. I believe another low float, unless they did an offering. I think it's lower float. Yeah, 45 million. The weekly is looking good on overstock. Let's look at the daily. Nice one. I like it up here. Who called it out? Nice, Nad. I like it. I like it. And it has a bit of a channel too that it's trading in over here. So let's do this. Let's draw the channel that I see. You see, it's trading in this channel. So I would look for it to head on up to about 104, and that would be my personal profit taking point until it came back down again, and then continue in this trend. It's been really following this channel. You can see since March 24th. So good 3 months that it's been following this channel to the upside. All right, AGRI, Agri. There we go. So let's go on shorter time frame. Yeah, it would probably need to have a close, not close, but get back up above 6 before that volume is going to come back into it. I know it's a newer listing, so I don't know how many shares. I could check the S1, SEC S1 filing for that. But right now, I would look for a close above 6. I feel like that's where the resistance would be for a lot of selling to take place, and then it would likely continue to move to the upside there. All right, Zine is going to be the last one. I got to go and puree up that hot sauce. Let's look at this on the 24-hour chart. So Zine, here it's hitting my 425 EMA. I'm testing around with a new one, 150 SMA here. And so maybe if it closes up above 520, I would look for a test up around that $6 area. But it's kind of caught in like congestion of this big 425 exponential moving average. It was support for quite a while, then it flipped to be resistance. So is this going to be the rejection and continue to move down here, down to 450? So it's a good one to watch. I wouldn't be clearly bullish or bearish at the moment, and there's not a lot of volume on it. Okay, last one, Nad. BlackBerry, you see it's heading down the hill. We have a bit of a doji here, a bit more volume. Would need it to close up above over here, above $12, and then I would look for it to run up here up to 15. So that could have a nice $3 move coming over this next week. I like that one. Thanks, Nad. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you have an amazing rest of your Sunday. I will see you all tomorrow at 12:15. Carpe Profit. Seize the